This speech is my informative speech, and it is to inform you on how a person being bipolar affects other people around them, not just the person that has it. It's very hard to deal with when you have a person that, number one, doesn't think they have a problem, number two, doesn't seek any outside help to deal with this issue. First of all, I had dated a gentleman for a couple years, and within that couple of years, I knew that there was some kind of issue, but I just really didn't know what it was. So we decided to get married after a couple of years. Then we decided to move in together about 3 months before we went to get married. Um, it was very challenging making all the arrangements because I had one daughter, he had two kids, so it was very challenging trying to get all the schedules together and making everything work, and it was just hard and it was stressful. And we eventually moved in together, and then I started noticing just small, simple things made him very uncomfortable. Um, the kids could walk across the floor wrong, and it was just like he would snap and he would throw things, and he never threw anything at me or the kids, but he would throw things, and it was very, very hard for me to deal with because I was not raised like that. My parents didn't throw things, they didn't cuss each other, they didn't scream at each other, so I didn't understand what was going on. The closer it got to the wedding, the worse things got because he didn't understand the concept of everything being really specific on your wedding and how a bride wants everything done, and he disagreed with everything I tried to do, so it was very complicated. One morning we got up and my daughter had a rodeo to go to, and I told him this was the third one in 3 days that she had been to, and he was very stressed about that because her father's always there. In his mind, he thought that her father and I had something still really to do with each other, and we didn't. And he knew this deep down, but it was just the outside issue, I think, that bothered him. He picked up a Dr. Pepper can and threw it across the room in front of my daughter. Soda went everywhere. It went all over my daughter, and I just was like, I can't do this anymore. So shortly after that, my daughter and I, we moved out. We got our own place. Him and I still stayed in contact. We still tried to make things work, but number one, he wouldn't get help. Nothing was ever his fault. He had made me so uncomfortable that I lived with my parents for a little while, and I would be hot or cold, the house would be hot or cold, and I wouldn't touch the heat, turn it up or down, or the air up or down, because when you would do that with him in the house, it was awful. I mean, absolutely awful. So I just was scared to do that. And there was some other things. When he would have these spells like this, it would cause me to have a panic attack because I didn't, number one, didn't understand what was wrong. Sometimes in his mind, I think he thought that different things had happened that he had just thought of, but he thought they actually happened, and they didn't. So it was very complicated. My daughter, I didn't realize, and his kids too, started having uh, problems in school. And with my daughter, she was afraid to say anything because her situation with her and her father wasn't very close. And she was very close with me, but she felt like if she made the wrong move or said the wrong thing, that it would cause the boyfriend to flip out and he would have a screaming match and throw things, and she just didn't want that. So it was very hard on her, very stressful. She got behind in school, and I didn't realize this till after we moved out. But after some time of him and I talking, trying to work things out, he did decide to go to a doctor. We spent a year after the 2 years after I moved out, we spent a year trying to make it work. Didn't work. Every time something would happen, he would just have a panic attack, and I would have a panic attack, and it just wasn't healthy. I had lost down to 100 pounds, and I should have weighed around 130, 140 to be healthy. So we slowly he got to where he got help. He got on medications. He sees a psychiatrist. He talks through things. I don't know, it seems like he's doing really well on the outside. I have talked to him a few times since then, and I would say this or that, and he would just have a kind of a come apart, seems like. And I just didn't really think that was the right way to proceed things. So him and I do speak every now and then. We do talk every now and then, but nothing will ever be the same because of the way he treated me. I do think that, in my opinion, someone that has the bipolar issue, it doesn't just affect them. Yes, they have a hard time. They need help. They need to understand everything that's happening to them so that they can get the right kind of help. But it also affects the people around them, their friends, their family, their children. It's hard to live with someone like that. It's very, very challenging. Um, I wish in the end, I now wish that I would have understood more of what was going on with him and realized that with the medicines and with the psychiatrist's help that he was a great person when he didn't have these issues. But when he did have these issues, it was awful. So I wish that I would have stayed around a little bit longer and I would have helped him seek the help and helped him get on the right medicines. Maybe we could have had a good life together. I'm pretty sure that we could have. I do know now that I can call on him for anything and he would be there to help me with whatever I needed. Um, but there's still that feeling of the past coming back to haunt you that I don't think I could ever marry this person, ever settle down with this person because it's just too dramatic. Very stressful for me, very stressful for my daughter, and I hate that that situation occurred. I hate that both him and I wasted a few years of our life when we could have been happier with someone else. Um, he has realized that, and he has told me that he's realized that the way he acted and the things he done affected me and affected Maddie. And he's tried to make up for that, but still there's that little aspect of what happens when you walk across the floor wrong or you turn the heat up. And I just don't think that's the correct way to live. So we've both moved on. He lives his life, I live my life, and I wish him the best. And I just really think that people don't understand how being bipolar affects the people around you. And hopefully one of these days there'll be some more studies on that so that people with that issue can have family and friends that support them and know how to help them because I didn't and I wish I would have sought that help and I wish I would have understood more. But maybe one of these days we will find someone that can do that.